natural. Hey guys! I wanted to start a new series on my channel where we talk about things that are maybe a little bit deeper than the usual things that we talk about. I wanted to create a space where we can talk openly about things that we struggle with, things like mental health, some of the harder parts in life, you know, like breakups, toxic friends, feeling lost as you're navigating your young life. Because I am someone who has struggled with some of these things, I feel that it's my responsibility to share my experiences and to just create this space where we can talk openly about these things so that we can start to break down that negative aura that surrounds you, just being real and raw and honest. So I've decided to call this series Cerena G and the tea, because we're gonna be getting all the tea. We're gonna be talking so openly. It's gonna be as if you and I are best friends. I just wanna create this place where we can all share our experiences and help each other, because it's so important to just reach out, check on everyone, check in. We are getting all the tea and we're not holding back, so let's go.
Loving ourselves comes naturally. We enter this world full of a kind innocence. We're not afraid yet of the world or the ways that it'll hurt us. We laugh until we cry without wondering if it's annoying. We spilled our secrets, our favorite stories to anyone who would listen without feeling like we were oversharing. We didn't worry that we would be judged based on what the world saw on the surface. Our hair, our outfits, our makeup. We didn't cope with the anxieties that now run our lives. We didn't feel everything so deeply to the point of crushing us with the heaviness of it all. We didn't want to be someone else. That was crazy to think, because they were them and you were you. We were so authentically ourselves. That was the beauty of it, really. There was no shame attached to being who we are. There was not a quality to apologize for. We didn't hide the things we loved, the crinkles our face would form when we smiled. We were vulnerable with hearts ripped wide open because that's the only way we knew how to be. We were our own best friend. We were brave. We were so reckless with our hearts and who we gave our love to, we never held back. But as we grow up, the world slowly shows us how ugly it can be. Damage happens. Some of the people that did love so recklessly, as if we were still children, took our hearts not because they wanted it, but because they didn't want to miss out on the chance to get close to us. To treat us like a shiny, gleaming object that they didn't want to know. Poured hatred into every aspect of ourselves that we used to love. They said we were too much. They made us hate ourselves for being such a unique soul. And as you change, we're not told to love who we're becoming. We're not supposed to love anything about ourselves. We don't decide to hate our bodies, the world teaches us to compare the way we look with everyone else around us. We don't decide to hate the things we are most passionate about. The people who don't understand and bully us into thinking it would be easier to change ourselves do it for us. We're taught all of these things that are made to make us feel discouraged and weak. But I will tell you what is strong, what is brave. Brave is choosing to love yourself. It is remaining open-hearted and still giving your love away so freely, even after it was wasted so many times. It's knowing, right down to every last detail, what you deserve and what you do not. It is falling apart completely and healing, building yourself back up using nothing but self-love. Brave is believing that after so many people would make you feel otherwise, the world is lucky to have you. It will always be a privilege to know you. If you're going to measure your self-worth, you can't do that by a number on a scale. How many followers you have, how many people call you a friend. Your worth is only measured in the things that make you, you. The number of times you've seen your favorite film, how many nights you couldn't sleep because you were excited for what the next day would bring, the places you've seen, who shaped you into the person you are today, the number of people whose lives are changed forever simply because you exist. Nobody can tell you how much you mean to yourself.
Learning to love myself did not happen overnight. It wasn't like I just woke up one morning and I was like, you know what, today is the day that the self-deprecation, hating myself, telling myself I'm ugly, I'm fat, I hate the things about my personality, those days are over. I just woke up and I was like, yes, today's the day. No, it didn't happen like that. I wish that it happened like that because I know there are so many people out there who just struggle to love the things that make them who they are, and I wish that it was just as easy as waking up and being like, I'm gonna love myself. I think especially in today's society, it's just so hard to do. I want to share with you guys today all the ways that I have been practicing and learning how to just love myself, because I'm in this season of self-love right now. I have made it a priority in my life the past couple months to just remind myself every day all the great things about me, and just to give myself all the love and kindness that I give so freely and so easily to other people. I think it's important to keep in mind that self-love is a journey, and it's always going to be a journey. There is no start line and finish line. There's no destination. There's no like one day you'll be here and you'll love yourself indefinitely for the rest of your life. You'll never struggle. You'll never like hate yourself. You'll never have these thoughts in your head, these negative self-talk. It's something that you have to put effort into every single day. It's something that you have to practice and work at every single day. So it's just important to keep in mind that yes, you can learn like I did to give yourself more love, but it's something that you're going to have to do every single day. For me, I started to make like some rules for myself. And the first rule that I have for you guys is just cut out all self-deprecation. If you catch yourself thinking, you know, girl, you look ugly in that outfit, or your hair is not that straight, or you know, whatever it is that makes you feel like you don't love yourself, if you ever have those moments where you're just being mean to yourself for no reason, just stop what you're doing. None of the bad things you tell yourself are true, so tell yourself it's not true, and then say, Cerena, you know, cut this out. You don't need this in your life. It's so important to stop the self-deprecation, because the more that you say these different things, the more that you will start to believe them, and you don't want to talk yourself into believing all of these horrible things. You are your own person. Like, you can talk yourself into a bad mood, into a bad day, even into a bad week. And I used to struggle with that so much. Like, I would get so upset over something ridiculous and it would just spiral, and I would end up having like such a bad day over something that was literally nothing at all. So if you have to cut off all the toxic people in your life, all of the people who just don't give you the love and support that you deserve, or anyone who is against you, anyone who is doing all the things that I've like been listing not to do. Like, if there are people in your life who maybe point out your flaws or tell you you need to lose weight, you need to do this, you need to do that, you know, those people are toxic, and you don't need that in your life, because it's already hard enough to keep yourself from believing these things and thinking these things. And if someone else is doing it to you, you just don't need them in your life. They say that you become the people that you hang out with, and I believe this so much, because the more time you spend with someone, the more their mannerisms and the way they treat other people will rub off on you. You don't want to be this great person who just gives kindness and love to everyone, and have someone over here who maybe does not, just like dragging you down to their level and just not supporting you in the ways that you need to be supported. If you're a girl, stop trying to compete with other girls. I'm so passionate about this because I've honestly really internalized this only as recently as like the past year. Because in the past, you know, I've just had my run-ins with mean girls. I think girls are the worst at like making the group chats. So like, say I post a picture and a girl who doesn't like me, she screenshots that picture and she sends it in the group chat, and they just talk about how like ugly and fat and whatever that I am. And like, there have been instances where that's happened in the past, and I think that that's like why I have only so recently learned to just not compete with other girls. Girls should be uplifting other girls. And my favorite quote is, I don't know who says this, but someone says, you know, girls would run the world. Girls would run everything in the world if we would just stop competing with each other, because the cattiness and the fighting over men and like stupid things is like what is making us be essentially like be equal with men instead of like up here like we could be, which I think is so funny, because I really do think that girls are so capable. But what usually stops a girl, what is usually someone's downfall, is trying to compete with another girl. What I've learned and how I can kind of turn this around to loving yourself is that if someone is mean to you, if the girls are making the group chats and they're saying, you know, look at what Cerena posted, she is so weird, she is so ugly, look at her eyebrows. I don't even know like what girls make fun of. What they say about you is a reflection of themselves. So if they're saying, you know, look at her, she looks like X, Y, and Z, it's because they're insecure in their own skin and they feel that way about themselves. instead of like making fun of someone for something you don't like about their appearance, you go out and say, you know, I love your smile, your hair looks amazing today, I love your makeup. You know, that's a reflection of you. Like, you're happy, you feel confident enough in your own skin, in your own, you know, hair, makeup, whatever it is, that you want to go out and spread that to the world. And I think that is so important to keep in mind, is that like we should always be spreading kindness. Like I like, this is so oversaid, but like if you just don't have something nice to say, you really just shouldn't say it at all. It's also really important to love yourself before you love someone else. I wish that I had really internalized this and known this before I got into such a serious relationship, because I truly believe that one of the main reasons why it did not work out and it was so heartbreaking in the end is because I just genuinely did not love myself. So when things got bad, I did not have enough self-respect to like stand up for myself and say, you know, this isn't cool, whatever it is, like walk away from the situation if I needed to. I just didn't have that respect for myself, and it's so important because being in a relationship takes so much effort. If you're giving all that time and attention and love and affection and investment into someone else, you can't give it to yourself. It takes away from the time that you could be spending working on yourself and just learning to love yourself. And so I recommend that if you do not genuinely love yourself and you're not at a place where you do love yourself, you should not try to give your love to somebody else. And this is very helpful. This is kind of a supplement to just learning to love yourself, is to have people who also love you so deeply and support you, and they're good, wholesome people. My best friends in the entire world are my two sisters, and we fight and argue because, you know, we're sisters, but I know that no matter what, like, they support everything I do. They're always there to uplift me, to encourage me, to tell me, you know, girl, you look great today, or girl, you're hilarious. They're just always so uplifting and positive people in my life. And, you know, my best friend is just like that, my parent. It's once you get to this place where you really do love yourself, it is so much easier to like carry that on if there are also people around you supporting you, letting you know how much they love you too, and how much they love everything about you that you love. You can't look for validation externally. You can't look for things on the outside to make you happy on the inside. I have this idea in my head that, you know, I look better when I'm tan. I look better when I have tan skin. But then, you know, I also think, well, you know what's better than like being tan Cerena is being, you know, the Cerena that makes her best friend laugh until he cries, who spends time giving love to her family, who, you know, always wants to get to know people and everyone around her, and, you know, just the things about yourself that are on the inside, I think, are so much more important than the things on the outside. The easiest way that I can describe what it means to love yourself is to be your own best friend. Fall in love with yourself. The way that you would treat your best friend, treat yourself that way. Give them that same kindness, give them that same respect, give them that same time and effort and love, because you really are your own best friend. I mean, I tell my best friend everything. My best friend knows everything about me, and like, that's literally what you are to yourself. So you should treat yourself just the way you would treat your best friend. The final thing that I want to touch on, because I think this is the hardest part about loving yourself, is loving the skin that you're in, loving your body, loving the way it looks, and not comparing it to other people and wanting what other people have. I've never really been the type to be very body positive. I've struggled with my own body image. I think that it's something I'm always going to struggle with. And at one point I was trying to lose weight in a very unhealthy way, which isn't really what this video is about, but I've just always struggled with my size, the way I look, wanting to look like other people. And to love yourself completely, you have to learn to love your body the way that it is. I'm always constantly on Instagram seeing, you know, influencers and Instagram models, and they always have like the flat stomach and they're super tan and they look really cute in a bikini, and you just look at them and you're like, I want to look like that, like I wish I looked like that. And instead of reminding myself of the things that I love about myself, I just get lost in wanting to look like someone else. I would just, you know, get sad and be like, well, I guess I'm not gonna eat bread ever again because I want to look like that girl, you know? It is really hard on social media today to not do that comparison thing all the time, because, you know, there's models everywhere, there's pictures of people on the beach everywhere, and you're never gonna get away from it. The way that you carry your weight and the way that you look has so much to do with the way that you are built specifically, like your body type. and there are girls who are just, they're small girls, they're like half a foot shorter than me, and they, you know, are just tiny girls. Like, they have a tiny waist because that's just like how they're built. And it's like, if I was ever that size, if I was ever their weight, if I was ever like a size 0, it would only be if I was like severely underweight, severely unhealthy. Like, I'm not built the same way that this other girl is built. And I think that's so hard to accept, because we look at them and we're like, yeah, I want that body type, like I want to look like her. But it's like, you can do the most, you could do everything, and you're never gonna look like her because you're just not built like her. I think that's so important to keep in mind, because it's like, it all goes down to like biology and genes. Like, she's just a smaller person, and that's just how it is. I think that we need a Disney princess who's not like super tiny. We need a Disney princess who is your average body type, you know, not one that has like a tiny waist and like super unrealistic. Because I personally, when I was a kid, like I identified so much with the Disney princesses. I love Disney so much, and I'm not saying that like that made me hate my body or anything, but it's like, I wish I had a princess out there who was like, I could see her on the screen and be like, yeah, she's my body type, like I look like her, like yes, I love that. Really been pouring effort every single day into loving myself and loving myself the way I am, and I still have days where I struggle. Like, I'm always gonna have days like that. We're all always gonna have days like that, but it's important to just remember to put the effort in. Even if this is like where you have to start, just go in your bathroom, look in the mirror and say, you know, you look amazing today, I love your makeup today, I love your hair today, I love your outfit today. Just remind yourself every single day of your worth, what you deserve, all the people who love you, all the reasons why they love you, all the reasons why you love yourself. The other day, I challenged myself to make a list of all the parts of my personality that I love. And I was really surprised at how many things I wrote down on the list that I liked about myself, and it was like, oh my gosh. And that's what kind of gave me the inspiration to make this video. I think if this helps anyone at all, it was worth it to make it. And I want to keep making videos like this where they're more serious. We talk about topics that maybe we don't get to talk about in every other type of video, where we're like, you know, just doing something fun. That is really all I have to give you guys on self-love for the day. And like I said, it's a journey. So if you guys, I'm about to plug my Instagram right now, shameless self-plug. But if you guys want to follow like my more day-to-day things, you can follow me on my Instagram. I have a TikTok too if you want to follow me on my TikTok. I've been making TikToks like crazy because we're quarantined and I have nothing else to do. So if you guys want, you can follow me over there too. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the next time we get to sit down and have a video like this, because it was really fun to get to talk to you guys and like be like a BFF chat. I just love this so much. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you sometime soon with a new video. Bye!